Hello everyone. أهلا بيكم في تعلم الإنجليزية. Learn English. Today, we're going to go back to the fun topics that we used to have. So we're not talking about serious topics like the few past episodes. So today, we're talking about traveling and we're talking about going to cities and going to different places. But we're not going to speak about the cities and the places. We're going to speak about the process of traveling. So today, we're going to look at airports, holidays, and hotels. So for this and the coming episode, we're going to speak about what happens when we travel. We're going to look at different conversations and dialogues that we might have in the middle of traveling. So let's look in detail what we're going to learn about. So first of all, we're going to learn vocabulary. And for vocabulary, we're going to learn vocabulary for hotels and traveling. And we're also going to look at skills. And for skills, we're going to look at conversations, reading, and listening. So let's start together and let's start our first part with the idioms of the day. If you remember the meaning of idiom, the idiom is an expression that the words of it are not connected to its meaning. So it's not a literal meaning for the words. So this is the meaning of idiom. Today we have some idioms that are related to traveling and related to holidays and relating to going far away. Let's look at our idioms and let's see the first idiom that we have for today. The first idiom that we have for today is called float your boat. Float your boat. And it's connected to going to a different place. We have boat, holiday, they are connected. But as we said, the meaning of the expression is not connected to the words. So the meaning of float your boat is to make someone happy or excited or interested in something. So for example, I can say to my sister, let's go out tomorrow. And she says, where to? And then I tell her, okay, so why don't we go and have lunch outside? And she says, lunch, this is boring. Let's go to the cinema. So my answer for that is like, why not? Whatever floats your boat. So whatever floats your boat is like whatever makes you happy or whatever makes you interested. So it's called float your boat. Or I can speak about last week, it was my birthday and I got lots of presents that floated my boat, which means that made me very happy or very excited. So float your boat is something that gives you a happy push or something that gives you or makes you excited. So this is called float your boat. Another example for that is when you get your exam results and you find out that you got the full marks and you say, this year, the exam results floated my boat, which means made me very happy and excited. So the expression is called float your boat. And instead of float, instead of your here, we can change the subject and we can make it anything. We can make it your, my, Ahmed's, or whoever. Let's go to the next idiom that we have. The next idiom that we have is really connected to travel and is called travel light. Travel light is basically or means to travel with few things. So we can say that when we go on the summer vacation, I just take one dress and a pair of shoes. I just like to travel light, which means I like to travel with few things. I don't like to have lots of bags and lots of things with me when I travel. So it's called travel light. Or we can use it when we speak about our daily actions. We can speak about my bag, for example. For example, in my handbag or my bag that I take daily with me to work, I just have my keychain and I have my mobile. And when somebody opens my bag and they're like, oh, your bag is empty. And I go like, I just like to travel light, which means I don't like to have lots of things in my bag. Or same for you, like when you leave all your things in your locker and you just have a notebook in your bag and you leave your books and everything in your locker. And when your mom asks you, where are your books? I left them in the locker. Why? I just like to travel light, which means I don't like to carry a lot of things with me when I go and when I come back to home. So this is called travel light. So travel light means I don't like to carry lots of things with me at the same time. And this is the second idiom that we have. And the third idiom that we have is called off the beaten track. Off the beaten track is a place or a route that is far away from everywhere and it doesn't have a lot of people who live there. So this is called off the beaten track. So you can say, or you can speak about your coming holiday and you can say, in my coming holiday, I would like to stay in an off the beaten track island with no one, which means I would like to stay in a far away island with no one. Or you can speak about your new home and you can say, my new home is in an off the beaten track area, which means in a far, far away area that doesn't have lots of people who live. Or you can say that 20 years ago, 6th of October was off the beaten track. Like 20 years ago, October area was far away and it didn't have anybody living there. But now it's not. Now it has lots of people and a lot of people live there. So this is off the beaten track, which means a far away area or a place that doesn't have lots of people who live. By this, we have looked at our 3 idioms for the day. The first one is float your boat, which is makes you excited. The second one is travel light, which means not taking lots of things with you when you travel. And the third one is off the beaten track, which means far away area without lots of people. So for now, let's start for our vocabulary part. And we're going to look at the first part for vocabulary. We're looking at traveling. And for traveling, we're going to start it from the airport. So let's look at vocabulary related to airports and let's see how we can use that. So as we said, the first part that we're talking about is traveling. And for traveling, we're going to look at what happens in the airport. In the airport, there are lots of things and lots of places and lots of people that we meet. So in the airport, we have a long process before we travel. But before we look at the process, let's look at the words that will help us understand the process. So let's look at vocabulary connected to airports. The first thing that we're talking about now is the air ticket. The air ticket. The air ticket is basically what allows you inside the airport. When you travel and when you decide that you're going to travel by plane, you need to get a ticket. So the air ticket would have some information. It would have the name of the passenger, it would have the time of the flight, the date of the flight, and it would have the gate number. This is the information that you will get on the air ticket. And then we have our next thing is called the boarding pass. The boarding pass. The boarding pass is your details on the plane, which means your seat number, for example. So when you get the ticket, it doesn't have a seat number. It tells you that you have a place on this airplane. But if you would like to know the seat number, there is a process that you go inside, put your ticket details, and then choose a seat. And then tell them what you have with you, like your baggage and luggage and stuff like that. So this is called your boarding pass. So this is a permission for you to go on the plane. And then we have your passport, of course. So this passport usually has the visa if you're allowed to travel outside. And we also have the check-in counter. Check-in counter. The check-in counter is the place that you visit to get your boarding pass. So let's think of the process now. Now we're talking about air ticket. So you book your ticket. Once you have your ticket, you take your ticket and passport and you go to the check-in counter. You give them the ticket and passport and then you start choosing your seat and you tell them about the type of luggage you have. So they give you the boarding pass. Once you have the boarding pass, you can go on the plane. And then we have the airport security. Airport security, and this is at the gate of the airport. This is the first step in which they check that you are allowed and you don't have anything dangerous, so you can get inside the airport. And we have immigration. Immigration is an office, or immigration is a department. This department is concerned with people who come from outside the country. They want to make sure that they are here legally and they are staying for the period that their visa states. What do you mean by that? Let's imagine that now someone is coming to visit Egypt. So this person is coming with a visa that allows him inside the country. So when he comes, he's going to go to immigrations, show them their visa, and tell them how long he's going to stay. And immigration officers will speak with the person just to make sure that this person is a good person and he's not planning to do anything bad to the country, and he has all what he needs to stay in the country safely. So this is called immigrations. And then we have the hand luggage. Let's look at the word luggage in general. Your luggage is anything that you take with you when you travel. So your suitcases and your bags, all your stuff are called luggage. Luggage is uncountable. So this word never takes S. So I can say I have 5 bags, or I have lots of luggage. So I don't say I have 5 luggages. It doesn't work like this, because the luggage is the collection of everything you have. It's the bags, it's your handbag and your laptop bag, maybe your jacket, maybe anything that you have with you when you travel. It is your luggage. So the word is uncountable. And when we say hand luggage, these are the things that I have in my hands and I take with me on the plane. So if we're talking about your luggage, they will be divided into 2 different parts. A part that would go and it will be in a storage area, and then another part that you take with you on the plane. So the part that, or the luggage that I would take with me on the plane is called my hand luggage. And then we have flight delay. So if we speak about flight delay, we need to speak about a lot of things that come with it. So what we see on the screen here is called the flight board. The flight board is a very big board that you will find in any airport. This board tells the passengers about the information for their flights. What do we mean by that? We mean that you will find, for example, the destination, the place that you are traveling to, and you will find the flight number. So we are in Egypt and we are traveling to America. So we will find the destination, America, and the flight number. This is the number of my airplane and we find it on the ticket. And then we have the gate number. Each airplane has a specific gate because the airport is very big and it is divided inside into gates. So we will find the gate number. So if your flight number, for example, is 168, you will go to gate 15. If your flight is 879, you will go to gate 20. So each flight leaves from a specific gate. And then we have the remarks. And for the remarks, we have the idea of flight delay. Remarks means the status of your flight. What do you mean by the status? What's happening with the flight? So, for example, your flight is on time, the plane arrives on time and leaves on time. Or maybe it's delayed, which means the plane would be a bit late, or sometimes it's cancelled. So, if we're talking about the remarks, it's either on time, or delayed, or cancelled. So, delayed means it will be late, cancelled, there will be no flight. And we also have the duty-free shop in the airport. And this is one of the fun places that people spend good time in any airport. So, the duty-free shop is a shop where you can go and buy stuff that are imported and you don't pay custom duties. So, you can buy things from America, things from Thailand, things from different countries, and they don't have extra fees for that. By this, we have looked at the most important vocabulary that will help us deal in the airport. Let's now look at conversations, different conversations that might happen in the airport. So now we have looked at the vocabulary. It's time to look at conversations using this vocabulary. So we're going to look at some conversation that might take place in the airport. So, airport conversations are in different places. So, once you get inside the airport, you have different conversations with different people, starting from the security. So, let's look at the most important conversations. But before we look at the conversations, we're looking at expressions, full expressions that will help us do the conversation. So, for example, we're talking about the check-in desk. If we're talking about the check-in desk, we have a lot of things that might help us, a lot of statements that might help us when we are at the check-in desks. So statements like what? So something like, may I have your ticket, please? Let's think about it. So if I have, may I have your ticket, please? Who would say that? Would it be me, the passenger or the traveler? Or would it be the officer? So here we're talking about the officer or the employee. And we also have, may I please see your passport? We're still talking about the employee here. And would you like an aisle or a window seat? So here, when we go on the plane, we have different types of seats. So different types of seats, we have something called aisle seat and we have something called a window seat. What is the difference? The window seat is the seat that is next to the window from the name. And the aisle seat is the seat that is next to the path between the seats. So we have seats row and another row, and between them there is a path. This path is called the aisle. So if you are sitting next to the path, you're sitting in an aisle seat. And if you're sitting next to the window, it's a window seat. If you're sitting in the middle, it's just a seat. So we have window and we have aisle and we have the middle seats. Usually, when you check in, if the airport or if the airline has availability, they give you the choice. It's not all the time. Sometimes all the seats are booked, so you can't choose or you don't have to choose. But sometimes seats are available, so they give you the choice, aisle or window seats. And then they ask you, how many bags will you be checking in? How many bags will you put with us and not take with you on the plane? And we have, did you pack your bags yourself? And we also have, did you leave your bag unattended at any point? When we say, did you leave your bag unattended at any point, this is just to check and make sure that everything in your bag is yours. So just in case when you go through the check-in and when they open your bags to be checked, if they found something illegal, it is yours. So they have asked you, did you pack them yourself? So did you pack your bags or somebody else did it? So if we open the bag and we found something that is not allowed, you didn't do it. So that's why they ask the first question. And the second question is also to confirm. Unattended means without supervision, or you didn't see them. So did you leave your bags unattended at any point? This is just to make sure that you didn't leave your bag in any place and somebody might have put something inside and you don't know about it. So that's why they ask these two questions, to make sure that everything inside your bag is yours. And then, do you have any valuable or fragile items on your bags? Valuable means expensive. Fragile means something that can be easily broken. So they just want to make sure that you don't have anything fragile. So when they check your bags, they might break it. So they are asking to make sure that when they transfer the bags or when they start moving the bags, nothing will be broken. And we have, do you have any dangerous items in your bag? And here they are checking whether you have maybe something like a knife, a gun, something that's not allowed to be boarded on the plane. Now, let's look at the conversation. So we've looked at some statements, usually said by the airline person, and we will look how the conversation would go. So let's utilize and let's use these statements in a full conversation. So here we have A is the airline person, B is me or you or any passenger. Here we have the airline person. May I see your passport? May I see your passport? Here you are. So when we speak, this airline person is not my friend and I don't say take it. So here you are is the polite way for take it. And here the person is saying, may I? This is a high level of formality. We have can I and then may I. And we have, would you like an aisle or a window seat? See, so now we have an aisle or a window seat and we have the question, would you like? And here again, because we're talking about formality, it's not do you want, it's would you like. So, would you like an aisle or a window seat? Let's see the answer. A window seat, please. Or you can say, I prefer a window seat if you don't mind. Will you be checking bags in? Will you be checking bags in? And here the answer is yes, I have 2 bags. Did you pack your bags yourself? This is the question that checks that everything inside is yours. Yes. So we have yes or yes I did. Both would be fine. Did you leave your bags unattended at any point? No, I didn't. So this is me confirming that everything inside the bag or whatever you might find inside the bag is mine. Do you have any valuable or fragile items in your bag? No, I don't. Or if you do, you can say, yes, I do have, and then you say what you have. So you can say, yes, I do have a mobile inside, or yes, I do have a laptop inside. So this is to state that you have something valuable or fragile that might be broken or stolen. So they make sure that it is safe. And do you have any dangerous items in your bags? No, I don't. Thank you for flying with Egypt Airlines. Your seat is 3C. So this is the time. So this is the checking in when we said that we take our boarding pass. So at this point, you know your seat number. Before this, you have no idea about the seat number. Thank you for flying with Egypt Air. Your seat number is 3C. You will be departing. Departing means leaving. Through gate number 4 at 10:20 a.m. Enjoy your flight. So we have looked at this conversation which is happening at the check-in desk. And now we have on the airplane. On the airplane, we have other statements that might be used. So we've seen in the check-in desk, and let's look at the airplane itself. We have your seat is to the left or the right. So this is the flight attendant giving you directions where your seat is, based on the seat number, of course. Please fasten your seat belts. Fasten your seat belts. Fasten like tie. So fasten your seat belts like put your seat belts on. Please stow your baggage on the overhead compartment. So stow means keep or put. Your baggage, we have talked about it, it's bags that you have with you. The overhead compartment is a place on the plane. It's an upper area where people can store the small bags that they have. So it's called the overhead compartment. Please turn off all electronic equipment until the seatbelt light has been turned off. So here they are asking them to switch mobile phones, they switch off any electronic equipment they might have, like a laptop maybe, until they see the light of the seatbelt. And here we have statements that we as passengers might have. And these are general requests that you might need on the plane. So general requests like what? A pillow maybe? So yes, on the plane we might ask for a pillow. So I would like a pillow, please. And we usually use I would like, we never use I want, because we try to stay formal and try to stay polite. Or I'd like a blanket, please. I'd like a glass of water, please. And we might ask about things to make sure whether they have them or not. Like, do you have Korean newspaper, please? So we're talking about things that we're not sure that they might be available on the plane. So if we're talking about the last one here, a pillow, a blanket, these things are there for sure. So you request them because you know and you're 100% sure that these things are available. But for this one, we're talking about things that are not very common, so we're not sure whether they are available or not. That's why we say, do you have or have you got a Korean newspaper, please? Or coloring pencils for my son, or do you have any coloring pencils for me? Any grape juice, please? So we're looking at different things that are not very common, so we just double check whether they're there or not. Again, we now have what statements the flight attendant might say, what statements me as a passenger might use. Let's look at them together in a full conversation. Let's see how the person will speak and how I will reply. So on any flight, the first person who speaks is the flight attendant. She usually greets the passengers. So let's look at the greeting. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your seat is to the left. Please fasten your seat belt and put your seat on the upright position. Okay, so for the seat, we have different positions. We have upright position like sitting. And we have reclining position, the position for sleeping. When the flight or when the airplane is taking off, everybody has to put his seat on the upright position. So please put your seat in the upright position and please return your tray table to its original position. Please store your baggage in the overhead compartment or under the seat in front of you. Please turn off all electronic equipment until the seatbelt light has been turned off. So this is usually what is said when by the flight attendant when the plane is taking off or landing. Would you like to eat beef or chicken, fish, vegetarian, pork, whatever options they give? So this is the flight attendant speaking. I'd like the chicken, please. Would you like something to drink? Or would you like a newspaper? Would you like a blanket? Would you like a pillow? So this is the flight attendant offering me different stuff. Yes, I would like a glass of water, please. By this, we have looked at conversations that might take place on the plane. Once I arrive to my destination, I meet the immigration. So let's look at statements that we might see and we might have a conversation, use them in the conversation with the immigration officer. May I please see your passport? This is me or the immigration officer? This is me. I'm sorry, this is the immigration officer. What is the purpose of your visit? Still the immigration officer. Are you here alone? And this is still for the immigration officer. Where will you be staying? And this is the immigration officer trying to make sure that you have a place to stay in, whether a friend or a hotel booking. And how long will you stay in Australia or in Egypt or in America? So they are asking about the duration of your visit. So now let's look at the conversation and how it goes between me and the immigration officer. So here we have A, what is the purpose of your visit? So if we say, what is the purpose of your visit? This is who? This is the passenger or the immigration officer? Like we saw, like we started, it was the immigration officer. When they say, what is the purpose means the aim. The purpose of your stay, you can speak about different aims. Maybe you're staying for business, maybe you're staying for fun, maybe you're staying to visit a family member. So we have, or to study, for example, different purposes. So the immigration officer must make sure, why are you visiting this country? I am here on a holiday. So this is the purpose. They are visiting the country for a holiday. Or I am here visiting a family member. Or maybe I am here on business. Where will you be staying? So this is the officer asking me about the place of stay. I will be staying with my family, or like we said, I will be staying in, and you say the name of the hotel. I will be staying with, and you say the name of your friend. So you just state where exactly will you stay during this holiday. I will be staying with a friend, or I will be staying in a hotel like we said. How long will you stay in Australia, or how long will you stay in America? Will you stay in Egypt? I will stay, or I will be staying in Australia for 1 week. I will be staying in Australia for a month. Or I am not sure, I have an open ticket. So this is the idea of not deciding on the duration of your stay. So the open ticket is a ticket. Usually when we speak about tickets, we have different types of tickets. Like we have one-way ticket, we have a round-trip ticket, and we have an open ticket. The open ticket is basically a two-way ticket, like go and return, but the return date is not fixed. So what is the difference between this and the round-trip ticket? When I say one-way ticket, I am traveling from Egypt going to America. I just go to America and that's it. I don't have a ticket with me to return to Egypt. Or I might have a round ticket, which means I go to America and return. And when I book the ticket, there is a confirmed date for traveling and the confirmed date for returning. the open ticket, we have a confirmed date for traveling, and I have a return ticket without a confirmed date. So I can choose any date for returning. So I have an open ticket. Are you here alone? Yes, I am. Or, no, I am with a friend. So you state who exactly are you in the place with, or who exactly did you come to the place with. Or no, I am with my family. So now let's look at the conversation in full without any options. So the full conversation all together. So, welcome to Sydney. May I see your passport, please? Here you are. And what is the purpose of your visit? I am here visiting a family. Are you here alone? No, I'm with my family. And how long will you stay in Australia? I'll be here for 1 week. Where will you be staying? I'll be staying with family in Sydney. Here is your passport. Enjoy your stay. Thank you. Okay, so once we finish with the immigration officer, we go to an area called the baggage claim. So the baggage claim is where I take my bags back, because when we travel, I give them my bags, and then when I arrive, I just take my bags back. So I take them from the baggage claim. And for the baggage claim, we have different statements that we might use. So we have here, excuse me, where can I collect my baggage? So this is said by the passenger or the claims officer. Here we're talking about the passenger. Or, excuse me, my bag is damaged, which means I have broken stuff in my bag, or we have problems in my bag. Excuse me, my suitcase is ripped. Or, I can't find my bag. Can you please help me? So here we're talking about a suitcase that is not okay anymore, and we're talking about a bag that is lost. And we also have the customs, like how much money do you have with you? These are sentences that are said by the customs. Customs is a department in the airport that makes sure that nothing is allowed inside the country without either paying duties or being reported, so we know what's coming inside the country. For example, you can't travel from a country to another taking like 50 kilograms of gold, for example, without telling them. So they need to understand what exactly is going in this bag, or what exactly you have with you. So this department is responsible for that. So that's why they say, how much money do you have with you? So you have to state, or you have to tell them how much money you brought to the country. Do you have anything to declare? Declare means tell us about or announce it. So do you have anything to declare? We're talking about dangerous weapons, maybe. We're talking about a lot of money. We're talking about something that you're not allowed to bring in without informing the country. Okay, so let's see how the conversation goes between you, the passenger, and the baggage official or the baggage employee. So, usually the conversation starts with the passenger. It's usually the passenger who says the first thing. Excuse me, where can I collect my baggage? Just follow the signs to the baggage claim area. The signs are things that can tell you how you can move from a place to another. Thank you. Excuse me, my bag is damaged. Where is it damaged? Here, look. I am sorry. Please fill out this form for compensation. Okay, so what happens is that when you check your bags in, and if you have any problems with your bag when you go to claim them or when you collect your bags back, what happens is that there is a form for compensation. Compensation means that this or the airline will give you money or will give you another bag instead of the one that they have damaged, because you give them your bag as their responsibility and they damaged that. So it's their responsibility to compensate you, to give you money in return for the things that they damaged. So in order for you to get the money, you fill the compensation form. I can't find my bag. What does it look like? My suitcase is brown with green stickers. One moment, please. I will look for you. So let's see the full conversation. How much money do you have with you? I have 300 Australian dollars in cash. Or I have 300 Australian dollars in traveler's checks. So you state any kind of money that you have, whether in cash or checks. Do you have anything to declare? And the first option, no, I don't. Or, yes, I have some Korean snack food and rice from the airplane. So you have to state whatever you're bringing inside the country. That is fine, thank you. So there is no problem to bring these things inside. Okay, by this, we have looked at different types of conversations that might happen in different places in the airport. Baggage claims, check-in counter, and immigration and custom duty officer. So different places, different conversations, and we've seen how we can speak with the flight attendant, what we can request on the flight, and what the flight attendant can provide as well. Now, let's do listening. So for our skills today, we have this flight board in front of us. The problem with this flight board is that it has wrong information. So what we need to do is we need to listen and spot what wrong information do we have on this flight board. Are you ready to start? Let's.
1. Where are you flying today?
Los Angeles.
On the 2 o'clock flight?
That's right.
Flight 203 to Los Angeles leaves from gate 33. It's on time.
Great. I hate it when a flight gets delayed.
Here's your boarding pass. Have a nice trip.
So first of all, this conversation, where did it take place? This conversation is taking place in the check-in counter. And she's trying to check in and she's getting her boarding pass. Within the conversation, there are two pieces of information that were said wrong. So, the first piece of information is here, and the second piece of information is here. So, try to listen again. Get me what is the correct information.
One. Where are you flying today?
Los Angeles.
On the 2 o'clock flight?
That's right.
Flight 203 to Los Angeles leaves from gate 33. It's on time.
Great. I hate it when a flight gets delayed.
Here's your boarding pass. Have a nice trip.
Okay, so the first thing is the flight number. It's not 302, it is 203. And the second thing is the departure time. It's not 3 o'clock, he said the 2 o'clock flight. Let's go to the next one.
2. I'm meeting someone on the 3:30 flight from Lima. Where does it arrive?
Flight 343?
Yes, flight 343 from Lima.
That will be arriving at gate 45, but I'm afraid it's delayed.
Delayed? But I called the airline a couple of hours ago and they said it was on time.
There's been a problem since then. It'll be 3 hours late.
3 hours? And I thought I would be late.
All right, did you spot the information? So, we have the gate number. It's not correct. So, do you remember what the gate number was? It's not 54, it's the opposite. It's 45. And it's not on time, it is delayed. It's delayed. Okay, so let's go to the next one and let's listen and spot the wrong information.
3.
I'm trying to get on the 4:15 flight to Tokyo. Am I on time?
Not exactly. It's 3:50 now, but luckily for you, that flight's been delayed.
I never thought I'd be happy about a delay, but hey, that's great news.
Okay, just let me check your baggage for you. And may I see your ticket?
Here you are. What gate do we leave from?
Gate 35. However, you're not on this flight.
Of course I am. Flight 453 to Tokyo, leaving at 4:15.
Yes, but today is Monday. Your ticket is for Tuesday.
All right, did you spot the wrong information? So the first thing is 4:15 and the second thing is, yes, 4:53. So it's not 4:30, it's 4:53. And basically this is the wrong day. He's not on this flight. Okay, by this we have looked at traveling and we have looked at the first step of traveling, which is going to the airport. And we've looked at different conversations and different statements that can help me with that. We've also done skills, we've done listening, and we've seen conversations inside the airport, and we've seen how people can check in and how people can speak about their flights. We've also looked at some idioms related to traveling, and by this, we have reached the end of our episode today. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye.